Hello YouTube, welcome to another beautiful day here in Sydney. The birds are singing, the neighbours are jackhammering or chainsawing or something. Everything is in balance as it should be. So, a lot of the lessons that I teach you here on YouTube are simplified in some way. I try to give you basic, interesting things that will be useful to you, but a lot of the time if I actually play them myself in my actual playing, I will mutate what I've shown you. Today I'm showing you something exactly how I play it, and I love to play it. I would like to think you will find it useful. So let's get stuck into it. It's a scale fragment, so I'm going to quickly play for you, then I'll explain what we're doing. It's a scale fragment, so it's a part of the E Phrygian dominant scale. Don't let that scare you. I also call it the Spanish scale. They're the notes we're going to use today. And we're going to play them in some patterns. Kind of thing I actually do myself all the time. If you don't know, I play in a band called Calidad, and this is the kind of thing I love to play. So, the scale itself, the notes are E, F, G sharp, A, B, C. That's all we're going to use. The Spanish scale also uses other notes D and E, but we're not going to use those today. We're just using 6 notes on 2 strings. The E note is at the 7th fret of the A string. The F note is at the 8th fret of the A string. The G sharp is at the 6th fret of the D string. The A is at the 7th fret of the D string. The B is at the 9th fret of the D string. And the C is at the 10th fret of the D string. So I'm glad we got that out of the way. That's a bit of a mouthful. From now on, I'm just going to refer to them as E, F, G sharp, A, B, C. So if those note names are going to be tricky for you, the best thing for you to actually do is actually pause the video and just practice that, because that's kind of where you're up to in your practice at the moment. A lot of my students and a lot of my Patreons as well are up to that point where learning note names is important. So I'm going to focus on that a little bit more. And it's such a mouthful to say string, fret, string, fret, string, fret. It's a big mouthful, so let's all assume everybody knows E, F, G sharp, A, B, C. Okay, now, I've shown you this scale plenty of times on YouTube. You might be thinking, what's so interesting? I didn't say it was interesting, I just said this is what I do. Low E string, and then 3 notes from the scale. This is a big part of my own personal playing. So I'm palm muting the low E string, and I'm not going to play any melodic notes or fretted notes on that string. It's going to do nothing but be an open low string. And for every low E string I play, I'm going to play 3 notes from that scale. I almost always play them sequentially. So for example, when I'm doing this style of playing, I very rarely skip notes during a run. So for example, if I do G sharp, A, B, those notes are one after the other in a scale. If I go back C, B, A, they're descending one after the other in the scale. I don't know exactly why I do that. It's just, like I said, this lesson is how I do things, not necessarily what I recommend you do. So I'll do an open low. Even just that, I find quite hypnotic, quite trance-like, and I'll often just when I'm enjoying playing my guitar. I might teach you that lick just for, because that kind of is coming out quite naturally today. So that's open, E, F, G sharp. That was the first one. And then I went A, G sharp, A. Sorry, A, G sharp, F. Open again, B, A, G sharp. Open, C, B, A. I'll put the tabs on Patreon, by the way, as well. So let's do this one more. This is going to have 6 melodic notes in it. That's E, F, G sharp. That's the first one. Second one, A, G sharp, F. That was B, A, G sharp. C, B, A. B, A, G sharp. A, G sharp, F. And finish on an E. I'm not going to repeat that. That was too many notes. If you could understand that, you could maybe just pause and get those notes under your fingers. Otherwise, excuse me if I just listed a whole bunch of blurry notes. When I'm actually playing, how am I actually thinking? I'm not thinking A, G sharp, B, C. I'm thinking this shape. So the scale fragment, the reason I play it how I play it is because it fits so nicely under the fingers, or it fits nicely under my fingers as well. So I got my second and third fingers on that 7 and 8 sound. And then I'm able to go first finger, second finger, and I just use my pinky. I use my pinky more than average probably. Some players might use their third finger. I don't. I use my pinky. I'm not saying what's better or worse. So today's lesson is a little bit about my personal style as opposed to simplified things. I do that a fair bit. So like it'll be like a triplet. It'll be, that's the E, G sharp. So open 7/6. That's an E major chord, and then I'll do open 8/7. Think of that as like an F chord, so it's like an E to F. That kind of thing. Even just that. Even if you take nothing else home from today, that E, F, G sharp, A, G sharp, F, E. Now, you have on this channel heard me play that plenty of times. The difference is today I'm showing you the actual fingering I use. Instead of showing you like all the way up a string or whatever position, one of my favorite ways to grab the guitar. Is that. So I hope there was enough value in there to make it worth your time watching this lesson today. I thank you very much. I invite you to practice. What we're going to do on the Patreon, I do have a Patreon page obviously, we do a deep dive. So here on YouTube it's a bit more like a surface level introduction to the concept, and on Patreon I'll be posting what I call a deep dive where I really get into the nuts and bolts of it and take you a few steps further. So if you thought this was valuable, maybe on Patreon it'll be extra valuable where I really get into detail, and I assume the Patreons have a little bit better guitar knowledge. So thank you for watching, thank you to the neighbours for their beautiful symphonic chorus there of power tools, and I'll see you next time.